Congratulations, President Obama and Castro. Prime Minister Simpson hails the move to normalize relations between the U.S. and Cuba. PM declares that the National Council of the Partnership for Jamaica is as solid as ever, and residents in Clarendon community get their land titles. With Jamaica House Weekly, I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Prime Minister Portia Simpson has welcomed news of the re-establishment of diplomatic relations between Cuba and the United States. Shortly after the announcement last week, Mrs. Simpson congratulated the presidents of both countries on the move, which she described as bold and visionary.
This represents courageous action by the governments of the United States and Cuba that will ultimately serve the best interest of the people of both countries.
The Prime Minister said the next step would be a total and formal end of the U.S. government's unilateral trade embargo against Cuba. She said the thawing of relations between Cuba and the U.S. vindicated the principled position of Jamaica and the rest of CARICOM.
The policy shift is particularly heartening, coming so soon after the CARICOM-Cuba summit held in Havana on December 8, and the declaration which emanated from the meeting again calling for the full involvement of Cuba in the various fora of the international community.
Following last Tuesday's meeting of the National Council of the Partnership for Jamaica, Prime Minister Portia Simpson expressed her confidence in and commitment to the Partnership for Jamaica process.
I want to publicly declare my personal commitment and that of the government to the dialogue with all sectors of the society through the Partnership of Jamaica.
At the meeting, the partners reiterated their commitment to the partnership and agreed to take steps to strengthen the structure of the council and use it to resolve issues. The council also agreed that the consultation code of practice for the public sector issued in 2005 would be embedded in the operations of ministries and agencies. In addition, Mrs. Simpson said the group discussed ways to improve reporting relationships between agencies and ministries of government.
I am instructing that the Ministry of Finance and Planning provide a comprehensive update to the Partnership on the Public Bodies Management Accountability Act and the status of work being undertaken to improve the public sector governance framework.
Meanwhile, the National Housing Trust NHT's acquisition of the Orange Grove property in Trelawney was among the topics discussed at last Tuesday's Partnership Council meeting. The partnership noted and accepted the information provided by the Prime Minister that a new board for the NHT would be appointed when the life of the current board expires in April 2015.
I believe that out of those frank and open discussions, we have moved closer to reducing the emotional reactions and understanding the facts of the situation, as well as the views and opinions of each other.
Prime Minister Simpson was speaking at a ceremony Wednesday where 40 residents of the Havana Heights housing scheme in Clarendon received land titles from the Ministry of Transport, Works and Housing.
Land titles provide people with security of tenure. When you feel secure, you can better plan your life. Your family situation is more stable. People who own land on which they live have greater stake in their communities. Ladies and gentlemen, ownership is vital for building wholesome communities and for giving Jamaicans a feeling of responsibility for their communities.
The Prime Minister used Wednesday's land titling ceremony to encourage the new landowners to pay their property taxes, which she reminded was important to keeping street lights on and ensuring timely garbage collection in their community. And the Prime Minister broke ground on Friday at the site of the new offices of the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, in St. Andrew.
I really want to thank you for selecting Jamaica, for building this office. I know it will redound to the benefit of the Jamaican people and certainly of our region.
The $13 million project will begin mid-August 2015, with the offices scheduled to open by January 2017. The IDB's country office in Jamaica is expected to be a model for its offices globally, as all services for the design and construction of the building will be sourced locally. Ahead of the groundbreaking, Mrs. Simpson met with IDB President Luis Alberto Moreno at Jamaica House. Mr. Moreno was on the island for a two-day visit, which included meetings with the Minister of Finance, senior government officials, the private sector, trade unions and civil society. And that's it for this week's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Join us next time for the latest stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.